and we're talking about when you get married, one thing you think to do is to care for each other. And as you live together as husband and wife, and you all who've done it know, that means different things at different times. What it means for Chris and I to care for each other now is not necessarily the same thing that it meant when we were 20s. When we worked trying to get everything, and I was strong. And now that I'm caring for my best means, some different kind of things. And that's why you got to keep getting directions. You got to stay in that relationship with the Lord. Because only the Lord can tell you how to care for him and how to love him. So Abraham is constantly what? Building altars and calling on the name of the Lord. So we learn from the story, amen, that God, amen, is free. And God never gives up on us. God is, amen, he knows who we are, and yet he loves us. And because he loves us, he stays in relationship with us. And he'll do new things. Amen. So don't ever think you get God on the handle. Amen. That's why when you think God's adding, he may be subtracting. When you think he's subtracting, he may be adding. Amen. Sometimes he'll tell you to go, sometimes he'll tell you to stay. You just got to learn how to be more sensitive to hear the voice. That's why our mothers and fathers said, when he calls, I'll answer. Because I'll be somewhere listening for my name. And that's a major part of what we're called to do, to be always listening for our name. Amen. And that he calls us, amen, to take our stuff, amen, because our stuff, amen, can be a blessing. Our stuff can be a blessing to us. Our stuff can be a blessing to other folk. Amen. And he calls us to go. And faith is trusting God. Amen. It's not just blind. Abraham, it wasn't a blind act. Abraham was trusting God. And so, Abraham, do you know where you're going? He said, no, I don't know where I'm going, but God does. That's like, you ever go on a journey, trip? Amen. And you're in the car, and you're not driving, and you're trusting that the driver knows. Huh? I get on airplanes sometimes, and it looks like, I don't know where they're going. I mean, I'm up in the air. All I see is clouds and blue sky. Huh? And I don't know what to do to handle the plane. If the pilot was to die, we'd be in trouble. Or there ain't no thing I can do. I don't know where we're going, but I'm trusting. Amen. That there's somebody who knows. Abraham says, I don't know, but God knows. Dr. Sandra Ray tells a story out of segregation, time of segregation discrimination. He said he was on his way down to Georgia and stopped at a little town, and he got some gas, and he asked the attendant for some directions, and the attendant looked at him, and the attendant said, boy, you a mighty long ways from home not to know where you're going. Amen. To be lost. He said, sir, you don't understand. I'm not lost. He said, I may not know every little town along the way, but I got a road map in here that guides me to where I am going. And so trusting God is following God. And because, see, how is God promising this? How is God present in the story? Well, God is present in the promise. Yeah. And that's all. God is present in the promise. Huh? And faith is to trust God to keep his promise. Oh, I need to hear this today. Because, you see, as you go on the journey, all you got is the promise. See? And sometimes it don't look like God gonna keep the promise. I mean, the travel is down to, we only got this one little story about Abraham, but it goes from 12 to 25. And sometimes, Vivian, when you're on the journey, you wonder if God gonna keep the promise. Huh? Amen. I think that's what I've been going through lately. I've been wondering. I said, now God, I've been on this thing for 22 years, and amen, it ain't where I think it ought to be, and it ain't happening like I think it ought to happen. Did I hear you right? Why don't you? Amen. And I listened to this one and this one. Everybody got some advice about what I ought to do. Go to Egypt. Amen. Put together those schemes. See, Abraham is they on this journey. Oh, no, man, it's just a wonderful story. They're on the journey. Amen. Abraham called on the Lord. But then he called on the Lord, and there's a famine in the land. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Let's go down to Egypt. They got some food. Oh, Lord, got a problem. If I go down to Egypt, Sarah, they'll see you. King will want to add you to his harem. What am I going to do? They might kill me. Let's tell him you my sister. Let the king do whatever he want to do with you. We'll be able to sneak out after we get some food. Had a little plan. God intervenes and saves them. God watches over his promise. Later on, they look at each other and they say, this baby thing don't seem to be working, man. Let's do a surrogate. And then there's Hagar. And then that opens up all kinds of problems. And then there's a conversation with God and Abraham, Calvin, with God. Abraham says to God, he says, you've given me everything. You've given me stuff, and you've given me protection. I got all this stuff, but I don't have an heir. And Eloise, my servant's going to end up inheriting everything I got. God said, that's not so. I'm going to give you a son by your wife. And it said, Abraham believed God. And God counted it to him as righteousness. That's what faith is. You just believe God. And Abraham hung in there. And he was able to hang in there because God hung in there too. And I'm so glad as I go to my seat that I've been able to hang in. And that I'm able to hang in because God hung in here with me. I don't know, amen, just how we're going to make it. Sometimes it looks like all's going to be lost. Sometimes it looks like the resources just aren't going to be there. Sometimes I wonder if I ought to go and do something else. Sometimes it just the stress, the worry, the anxiety. I may pretend that I'm not, but there it is. And I know y'all do too. You say, just tired of hearing about it. When's it going to get better? When is the floodgate going to open it? The pews are going to be filled. When's God going to send us straight with some money rather than sending us straight where I am need? When is this going to happen? When is the blessing going to come? And God says, you're living in the blessing. You're living in the blessing. You're living in the blessing. I can't understand it. This ain't what I think the blessing ought to look like. He said, well, it ain't what you think, it's what I think. Because when you look around, you find out that I'm still there. And it's only because I'm there that you've been able to make it for as long as you made it. It's only because I'm there that you're able to make it right now. And what you got to do is keep on trusting. Yes. What you got to do is stay on to journey. Because I'm the promise maker who is